G'day and welcome to the Game Day Squad NRL Fantasy Show. I'm Stu, that's Dill, and we are the Fantasy Bros. We're back again, partnering with Game Day Squad to bring you all you need to know to succeed in GDS Rugby League this season. Well, Dill, sadly, the last full allotment team lists for season 2025 have dropped before the top 8 teams battle it out for Rugby League's ultimate prize beginning next week. It's time to take a deep dive into our round 27 GDS squads, around where we're going to have a handful of teams with a bit to play for, a win and in mentality for some, a number of teams already on a seat to Bali for their end of season shenanigans, and a team or two looking to spoil the party for a number of teams on the fringe of the 8. Still a lot to play for, both in terms of Rugby League and Game Day squad. But before we get to all of that, how did you go in round 26, mate?
Yeah, g'day, Stu. G'day, viewers and listeners. And it's awesome to see so many new faces and new names commenting in the chat. We've got Kieran asking, how is it September footy already, mate? I absolutely agree. That season has flown by. And welcome to Tracy Wall, who is new to the pod. So hopefully we are able to help Tracy out with a few picks today. Thanks to everyone that's following along. Yeah, mate, round 26, unfortunately, another poor week for me. I feel like the last couple of weeks I've been saying that. I did get 13th in starter and 19th in champ with a couple of differences there. But my classic side is obviously where all my eggs have been placed. And I'm really just hanging on to that prize card in that competition. I'm struggling a little bit at the end of the season. I think the boys have gone pretty hard throughout the middle of the season. We got to where we needed to be. And look, we got one more. And I've just a bit of a teaser for my team. I've got a couple of risky plays, I think, and I really hope that doesn't cost me. But I think I've got to take a couple of risks just to stay in that prize card competition, mate. How did you end up? I know that you're pretty much solidified into that prize card draw or draft. What about in terms of the weeklies?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. 8th in Challenger and Champ. I'm prioritising Challenger, given that's my highest place finish at the moment. Still second overall there with one round to go. I'm 100 points clear of our mate Penrith, who's sitting there in third, but he's slowly been gaining the last few weeks. You've mentioned already, and we mention it every week, about prize cards, and we've put together an unofficial list of the prize card selection order for Rugby League. And for those that aren't quite sure what they're seeing on screen, there's 34 prize cards that coaches can win this season, and the prize card has its own special perks. Only one player can have a prize card each season. That prize card saves you a lot of salary in some of your salary-based competitions like Classic and Challenger, and it comes with a times 1.4 multiplier. So it acts as a diamond card, but only costs you a gold card. So it's very worthwhile. Dill, our names are on there. I'm sitting 5th in that prize card selection order. You're currently there in 24th, a little ahead of 32, which is the lucky last. But you and Gardy are both there in green. Do you want to remind our viewers why you've got a prize card locked in there at spot 33?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I took out the GDS Cup, the inaugural GDS Cup, which was the starter competition that we had head-to-head earlier in the season, a knockout competition, single elimination, and I made it through to the grand final up against JT, and we had a great battle there, and I got out on top. And then Gardy did something similar over on the classic comp side. So he put together his classic side, and he was able to pot up almost each and every week. The king of the pods got it done in that last matchup, and so he is guaranteed a prize card in that prize card draft. And he, for some, that might be seen as Mr. Irrelevant at that 34th spot, but I think Gardy will be pretty happy with that. What I love as well is Ganners has joined us. Ganners has been following us all season, and he says 32 is going to change this week. That is the contender number 1 spot in 32. And Ganners had the top spot there for a little while and has been knocked off by a couple of good rounds by Donkos, and I'm sure they've got plenty to play for this week. So awesome to see Ganners here. I've already seen a little sneak peek at his team as well, and it looks like absolute fire for Ganners this week. So good luck to him.
Beautiful, mate. I see a familiar display photo there in the comment section. G'day to Ryan P. G'day, Pity. He was on the show last week, of course, alongside Haz, unveiled as the 2 new fantasy bros who are going to do a lot of things in the AFL and cricket space over the weeks to come. Got Stephen here who said it's going to be a nice, tough week, and that's a good thing for Game Day Squad. If it's going to be tough, that should mean that there's a lot of movement in that prize card selection order. But Izzy, g'day, mate. Thanks for tuning in. Of course, it would be a Fantasy Bros live NRL show without the one and only Melissa, who has rallied the troops along and made sure we've got plenty of people here for the last regular round of the season.
Just on a couple of things there. Firstly, Pity and Haz are going to be dropping their first lot of content regarding the AFL finals competition, the Aussie Rules finals, to give you a couple of options for the coming rounds. So keep an eye out on that. That'll be dropping tonight over on the Fantasy Bros Instagram. So if you haven't already followed our Instagram, go check out Fantasy Bros at Fantasy Bros AU over on Instagram, and you'll see those drop throughout the show. So it's going to be an awesome start to the finals comp for the Aussie Rules guys. And as always, look, we say each and every week, it's not too late to sign up. It is the last round of the regular season, but GDS have been awesome. They are putting on a final series for both Aussie Rules and Rugby League, so it is definitely not too late to sign up. There's still some time to win some awesome prizes and to start building your squads, even looking forward into next year as well. If you are a new user, make sure you jump over onto the GameDay Squad app or website. Use the promo code FBRL25 when you are signing up, and you'll see a spot to put that promo code in, and that'll give you 3x9 player common packs straight away for that rugby league competition. So you can jump straight into that final series and have a decent shot at winning some prizes in maybe that starter, classic, or even contender competition. So there's plenty of opportunity for you. As well as doing that, you'll get a heap of bronze cards to start your team as well. So definitely recommend jump in, have a crack, and get your squads ready for finals, but then also into next season too.
Do you look at all these faces coming out of the woodwork? Deal a big reason so many are here joining us tonight, not only to get our valuable insight for the final round of the regular season, but you've teased it pretty frequently throughout the Discord over the past 48 hours.
Yeah, mate. Hopefully people haven't been living under a rock. If you have, we have a massive giveaway tonight. It's probably our biggest giveaway we've ever done. We did hit 100 subscribers just over a week ago, and we did announce that we will be having a massive giveaway. As a result, though, and I think that's partly, but also the fact that Ryan, that Pity and have joined us to the Fantasy Bro squad, we've gained another 40 subscribers over that week. So thank you very much to everyone spreading the word and getting everyone involved. So we've got plenty of prizes on the wheel tonight, and every one of those prizes will be going off the wheel. We have packs, we have cards. We also have the awesome Fantasy Bros hat. I think it's 1 in 5. There's only 5 available. 4 of them are owned by the Fantasy Bros. So there is one here that will be someone's tonight. So we're looking forward to spinning that wheel. Mate, without further ado, should we get into the first lot of wheel spins? What do you reckon? Alrighty. So before we get into that, a couple of things. Look, this episode might be a bit longer than normal because we are giving away 20 prizes. So we will be spinning the wheels a few times. And the way we're going to do it is we are going to spin the wheel first for a prize and then spin the wheel for the winner. And we'll be doing a whole lot all at once. So let's jump in and share my screen here. And we're going to jump in first with, sorry, the wrong one. We're going to jump in first with our wheel. Hopefully we can see that there. We've got prize up on screen. I think we've already had a comment earlier today about the aesthetics of the prize card wheel, and I love it as well.
Unfortunately, to answer Mel's question, no, there's no spot on the wheel to become the 5th Fantasy Bro, but maybe that's something that we'll look at in the future.
Definitely. Alrighty, let's spin that wheel and see what our first prize is. All right, first off the bat, we have the Joshy Brown Diamond for the Oz Cricket competition. So for the Josh Brown Diamond, we're going to jump across. We are going to share the wheel with the names. And look, we have over 50 names on that wheel. So thank you very much for everyone sending through their screenshots. Let's see who's going to win the Joshy Brown Diamond for the Oz Cricket season kicking off in December this year. And it's going to be tight. First up, it is Akil. Thank you very much to Akil. You have won yourself that Josh Brown Diamond. Please make sure you jump into our DMs over on Discord or Instagram, and we can organise that for you. Congratulations, Akil.
Good on you, Akil. Well done, mate. And I hope that Josh Brown comes in handy for that Oz Cricket season.
Alrighty, let's jump across. So we're going to do 3 more giveaways here, and then we'll jump into some content, and then we'll keep giving away some cards and packs and prizes throughout the rest of the show. Next up, we have the Aussie Rules card. This has been kindly donated by the GDS boys. It is an Errol Goulden gold card. I believe he's a pretty good player over on the AFL side. Maybe P and Haz can help us out with that one there.
I think Tommy's hoping that he wins this one. Then GDS Tom.
Alrighty, and taking out the Errol Goulden gold, could be golden, and it is for the Ant-Man. Maybe that's the superhero. Ant-Man, congratulations, mate. Well done on winning that card.
Well done, Ant-Man. Congratulations.
Let's get a couple more happening here. Alrighty, spin that wheel again for another prize. This is our third prize off the wheel, straight into it. It's coming round. It is... the Steve Smith Platinum. Now, that could be a massive card for the Oz cricket season, I reckon.
Absolutely. Let's see how many games he gets this season, and certainly post-retirement from the Test team.
I know someone that will be having his prize card that'll be pretty keen on him getting a few games under his belt. Alrighty, it is Benny Austin. Congratulations, Benny Austin, with the Steve Smith. Unreal work there, Benny. Alrighty, and let's jump in. Let's go one more prize, and then we'll get into some positional rankings. Unreal. Alrighty, that final prize is a 9-player rare pack there for the Rugby League. So let's jump in and see who's won that. Now, with the packs, we're not going to be opening all of the packs on stream. We just will run out of time. So we will get in contact with you to do a personal break, potentially, or we might jump over onto the Discord stage and open a few packs for those winners as well. But just get in contact with us if you do win a prize today, and we'll sort that out for you. And it is our good mate, Skip. Skippers.
Well done,
good
Skippers.
on you, mate. Well done. Great work. Alrighty, so there are 4 prizes off the board straight away. Well done to everyone that has won those cards. We're going to continue spinning that wheel a little bit later. But first, let's jump into the NRL, the Rugby League content for the week, mate. And you've got some big news here.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about a bit of round 27 motivation to help people pick some players for their team. We've made sort of 3 lists here, two big lists. Obviously, the teams that are just about in must-win territory, and look, the results of some earlier fixtures can also dictate the likelihood of another team progressing. So it's going to be pretty fluid throughout the weekend, and we'll try to keep you updated as best we can on the Discord. But as things stand at the moment, the Broncos, the Sharkies, the Warriors, the Finns, the Roosters and Manly all have a chance of making that 8, or for the Bronx, Sharkies and the Warriors of getting inside that top 4 and therefore earning themselves 2 bites at the cherry in case they may lose in round 1 of the finals. So plenty to play for those teams, although their fate may sort of be sealed depending on results early on in the weekend. We've got a couple of teams that have very little to play for, so you might want to look at who they're playing against and load up on some of the opposition, and we'll show you some key matchups to target shortly. But look, the Dragons, the Knights, the Tigers, the Eels and the Titans don't have a lot to play for in terms of finals footy, and they're probably thinking about what next week's going to look like, or even Mad Monday. So you can probably target some key players against those 5 teams. But I like the little graphic there in the middle. There's one South Sydney Rabbitohs emblem there in the centre, and that's that they've got a really good opportunity here to spoil the party of the Sydney Roosters. We know that that's the oldest rivalry in the rugby league, and you just know that Wayne Bennett is probably cooking up something to not only eliminate the Roosters from the competition, but to make sure the Finns can secure a spot in that 8. So the Roosters and the Rabbitohs will play before the Dolphins play, and if the Rabbitohs do happen to get up, the Dolphins are still a live chance. If the Rabbitohs lose and the Roosters win, that all but sort of ends the season of the Dolphins. So with all that in mind, here is a quick little summary based on that information there, that we think these are some pretty big games to target. We've got the Dragons up against the Panthers, and we think the think there's got plenty of point to probably look at players on both sides of the ball in that fixture. We know the Canberra Raiders, the Mighty Milk, have secured that minor premiership. They've rested a whole heap of stars. And the Dolphins have a pretty nice matchup there. And they could still be a live chance come Sunday Arvo when that match commences. And then the round finishes with what could be another bit of a shootout between the Eels and the Knights, both eliminated from the competition. But we could see some nice free-flowing footy and plenty of fantasy points scored. Dill, anything there that appeals to you?
There's a couple of good matchups that I really like. I'm a little bit nervous about the Eels-Knights game because I've got a couple of players there that potentially I might play. And if my season rests on a couple of Eels players, I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel, I think. So I'm a little bit nervous about that matchup. So I'll be watching that pretty closely. But I think that the important thing is, as you say, the competition is going to change within 2 or 3 games, and that could make a massive difference. So it's really important to keep ourselves across all of the changes that are going to happen over the next few days and probably adjust our teams accordingly. We're going to talk about players that are in some big matchups that need some must win, and that's why we're playing them, or one of the reasons we're playing them. And if that is taken away from them, then potentially there's some better options out there as well. So I think it's important, as we always say, to have a couple of pivots, to have a couple of options to change into if need be, based on the matchups and what happens throughout the weekend.
Absolutely right, mate. Let's get into some positional previews. Those that haven't won a prize yet, do not fret. We'll go through 2 positions, then we'll spin the wheel for some more prizes. Jay, all good, mate. The Fantasy Bros hasn't been claimed yet, so you're still a massive chance to get that 5th cap. Right, Adil, let's get into the hookers for round 27. There's been a man that we've spoken about just about every show. Are you going Blake Brayley's direction, or are you looking elsewhere?
I think I'm going to look elsewhere. Look, there's a couple of really good options this week in Brayley, Coruscant, Cook, even Simpkin again. Jeremy Marshall-King's put up some great numbers over the last few weeks, but I think I'm going to go with the man Cook there for the Dragons up against the Panthers. And I know it's not necessarily a matchup that we're targeting for the Dragons necessarily, more so for the Panthers, but I really like what Cookie's done the last few weeks. And if we have a look at the hookers up against Panthers in particular, they're allowing 53 in the last 5 games to starting hookers. That includes a 71 from Sam Virals, who we also have on that list there, a 70 from Jaden Brayley, and then a 67 from Harry Grant. So the Panthers are really letting in some points through that hooker role. Obviously, one of those games that we had the resis on, but still across those games, there have been some really good Panthers players in the side. And Cook's really seen an increase in minutes as well. And I know that's been a sort of a sore spot for us over the last, back half of the season, really. But his last 5 matches, he's averaged 76 minutes on the field. And that includes the 3 80-minute games. And one of those he did start at lock, but the rest of those he has been starting at hooker. So the rotation, I think, is really nice, the way that he's sort of staying on the park when Little comes on. And as a result, he's got, 3 games in a row where he's got 60 tackles, and you really just can't go past those numbers. If he gets 60 tackles and he gets 60 points just purely based on tackling, you've got to lock in that 60 points and be happy. The obviously nervous part of that is Flano doesn't stuff up the rotation and doesn't stuff us over by giving the old man Cook a bit of a spell, to end the season. That he's done a lot of work throughout the season, so it might just be time for a bit of a rest. But hopefully, as Daniel Hassett pointed out in the comments there, will Cook get 70 minutes plus? Let's hope that he does. And for me, I think if he does get that 70 minutes plus, he's going to end up with that 60 odd points in base, purely just through tackles and run meters.
Yeah, looking at those 3 back-to-back 60s is really nice viewing. And really nice on top of that as well is he's missed just the 2 tackles in those 3 matches as well. So some really impressive tackle efficiency. But what we have noticed with that is that his run meters have been a little bit down, and therefore, the likelihood of tackle breaks, offloads, and some of those more creative stats as well. It's almost as if he knows that he'll be expected to go the distance and therefore doing a lot of tackling through the middle. So probably just limiting his running game a little bit. I love the shout. There is a world in which I might even consider playing 3 hookers. But I can't go past Blake Brayley. Yes, his scores have been down. But look, he's had much lower tackle numbers across those 2 poorer scores over the past 2 matches that they've played, with 35 and 36 tackles compared to his season average of 45. Those 2 scores have coincided with big wins over the Knights and the Titans. So I was probably expected those numbers were going to be down, given they were kicking goals and doing a lot of attacking for a lot of that game, as they were scoring plenty of points. They've got a really big and important clash here against the Doggies team that haven't opted to rest any stars, despite being pretty much locked into that second or third spot there on the ladder. So I can see Blake Brayley's numbers sort of returning to where they were when we were really pushing to get him into our squads. Given it's a really important game here for the Sharkies, I think he'll get back to those 45 to 50 tackles. And his running game has just been absolutely elite. The Sharkies look amazing when he's picking up the ball quickly and darting out and putting some of those big boys through the line as well. So, yeah, I'm not too worried about those last two matches. I love Cookie's previous couple as well, but Blake Brayley's been doing it for much longer, and we know that his role is guaranteed. The Dragons bench there is still those four big forwards, and at any moment, Little can slot in there at 9, and some of those bigger players can play in the lock. The other play very quickly is Api Coruscant. And look, he's picked up the kicking duties in Adam Dewey's absence, and he's been amazing in the last 2 weeks, really, for the Tigers. His tackling numbers have been really impressive as well, 61 and 48 in those past two fixtures, up from his season average of 38. So adding to a lot of a really nice floor there as well. Like Harry Grant, though, and a big hesitation that sometimes we don't opt for Harry Grant when he is available is too many points lost through missed tackles. He's missed 11 in those two fixtures. But the goal kicking, he kicked 6 goals in the past 2 matches, sort of make up for that somewhat. But without Adam Dewey there, more responsibility for Api Coruscant. He's sort of taken a little bit more ownership with both the tackling and the running and the creative stuff of the footy. So he's probably a bit of a pod play with a nice high ceiling in that bit of a shootout with the Titans there. So probably a play for some coaches that are looking to get in.
Yeah, and just looking at the comments, Jay Boney has agreed with you there. Got to pick Appy with the kicking duties. So he's on that sort of same thought as well. I guess hopefully he doesn't miss too many tackles. And as you said, if he does, then he makes up for that through the kicking. Yeah, love it. So we've got a couple of differences there, which I always love to see. And there's plenty of options as well for coaches that might not have a Blake Brayley card or might not have the Cookie card there. So there's Api Coruscant or JMK as well as some options. Awesome. Let's jump across to the middles. And look, for the first time in a long time, we can say that the big three are back. Payne Haas, Terrell May, and Isaiah Yeo, who are our big three through the middle, who have been pretty consistent all season. I'm going to run with all three of them. It's pretty much a full-strength Panthers side, and they're up against, obviously, the Dragons as well, that really only have pride on the line. So you'd expect Yeo to play some big minutes, hopefully. Maybe not getting back to that 80, but getting close to, particularly with the finals just around the corner. From there, then, I'm assuming you're playing the same. From there, where are you looking in terms of that that fourth or maybe even fifth middle, or are you just going to stick with the three?
No, I think I'll run a fourth. This stage, I've got Tino locked in. I am a little bit hesitant on Isaiah Yeo. I'm not sure he gets the full 80 minutes. Look, he finally gets named at the starting 13 following that shoulder injury. Panthers are likely to run up a score there against the Dragons. Who knows? Maybe they work hard in that final match, knowing that their end of season is just around the corner, and really put it to the Panthers. But look, the other side of the coin is that Isaiah Yeo hasn't played 80 minutes since round 17, and he's likely going to need to do that quite often in the finals, depending how deep the Panthers can go. So this could be the opportunity where he does get those big minutes to make sure that he can, get through that big workload during the finals. But since that 80 minutes in round 17, he's played just 54, 70, 52, and 63-minute games and only scored 2 scores above 50 GDS points. So there is some hesitation there. Payne Haas and Terrell May, certainly the two clear in terms of players you'd probably want to put some extra salary on. Probably just a bit of a watch over Isaiah Yeo. They've obviously gone Brad Schneider on the bench, maybe to give Nathan Cleary a bit of a spell. So there's no real pressure on taking those minutes through 4 forwards, but certainly something to see, mate. I do like Tino Fa'asuamaleaui again this week as a middle option. Big win over the Tigers could just give them some small hope to avoid the spoon, given that the Knights play the Eels after them, meaning, if the Titans rack up a score and then the Eels smash the Knights, there is a chance that the Titans can leapfrog them based on for and against there. So you just know that Tino's going to be ripping in as captain. Will he be there next season? Who knows? But he is that one guy that is going to keep putting in. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him sort of crash over close to the line, or look, even put his hand up to play 65 or 70 minutes, keep tackling, keep running, keep offloading, and threaten that line. So, yeah, I really like him as a player. We've seen him score just 2 weeks ago, I think it was. He's always a threat. And yeah, I think he's in line for a big score.
Yeah, I like that. And I guess for me, I'm going the big three, and then I'm actually looking at potentially two middles as well. And I guess firstly, when I was putting the notes together, I was looking at either Tino or Naf White, and I think Naf White's been having a pretty good season over the last few weeks now that he's got that lock roll sort of sewn up. And then I sort of just went, why don't I just play both? And in a week where there's not a lot of upside, or there's limited upside in some of the edges that we're going to talk about. I don't think there's that elite 2 or 3 that we can definitely bank on. And as you said, there's a few different hooker options, but I'm always hesitant to play double or triple hooker. So I think I might just lock in the two middle forwards in Tino Fasuamaleaui and Naf White. As you said, Tino's been pretty good over the last 3 weeks, averaging 58 minutes on the park. And as a result, he's getting just above 60 GDS points in base and power, which is a great numbers. And as you say, there's opportunity there for some upside. So I'm happy to lock in that floor of around 50 to 60, depending on his minutes. And as you said, he could potentially play 65, and that'd be unreal. And then White, very similar. His minutes are hovering around that 50 to 55 now that he's got that lock roll confirmed at the Roosters. And his last 4 rounds, he's averaged about 50 in base and power. And then he's got that upside of that offload, or even a sneaky try, which we've obviously saw over the last couple of weeks. So, look, I mentioned on Discord earlier in the week, the Roosters, and you said at the start of the show, the Roosters are in a must-win situation, and they'll probably want to put the Rabbitohs to the sword. The Rabbitohs don't have too much to play for besides that bit of pride up against the old rival. And it'll be interesting to see what that final team list looks like for the Rabbitohs, with Cam Murray looking to potentially play his first game of the season in the last game, which I think is a little bit ridiculous. Just give the bloke a whole year off and let him fully recover. But anyway, so it'll be interesting to see what that looks like. So I think at this stage, I'm just going to lock in the floor of both players with that upside, and hope that I get that sort of 50 to 60 and just be happy with that and move into a couple of riskier plays somewhere else.
Yeah, look for those high upside players, maybe in the backs. Made any love for Corey Horsburgh? Gone from almost not talking to Ricky Stewart on the outer there at the Raiders to captaining the side after they've sewn up the minor premiership in round 26. He scored some big scores over the past few weeks, and probably is going to get some more minutes and more responsibility.
I think it's a pretty good option when, like we've talked about with the Panthers a couple of weeks ago, last week, resting all their players. The Raiders have done something similar, in both Young and Hosking are having a bit of a rest. So Horsburgh's got some big shoes to fill across the park. There's a number of other players there that are having a bit of a break. And look, Horsburgh's numbers over the last 3 weeks, he's averaging 63 GDS points. So there's all potential there for Horse to have a big game. And it's been his sort of attacking upside that I've really liked as well. Well, obviously he rips and tears whenever he gets the ball in his hands, but he doesn't mind having a bit of an offload. He loves getting his arm free and looking for an offload even when it's not on. And sometimes that can be a poor choice, but I do like it when it comes off, because there's plenty of players sort of around him to back him up. So yeah, I think Horsburgh is a great shout, and he might find his way into a couple of sides where I don't have as much on the line, just because with the Raiders being so under strength, I'm not sure how they're going to perform overall and what that would look like for the side. So he's not going to find a way into my classic side, but he'll definitely find his way into maybe my challenger and champion side.
Yeah, beautiful. Rightio. Any Chook supporters in here? Make sure you call out tracks. I think we've got Jax in the chat. Mel spotted that pretty quickly, given the bet that he's offering. Any Chook supporters here keen on a bet? We know that Jax is big on his bets in the GDS Discord as a Rabbitohs fan, so don't miss the opportunity now. He's also said this could be some pretty good insight here as well, coming from Jax, that Cam Murray is asked to play this weekend. So probably that mentality of trying to knock the Roosters out of the competition, and he wants to stand up there and be a big part of that. Could see 65 minutes this week, unless he's referring to Corey Horsburgh there. Rightio, if you want to bet, get in Jax's DMs.
Just quietly, Prison Mike is a Roosters fan, so Jaxie might need to get into his DMs, and that'd be a good little battle there between the two of them. Alrighty, let's jump into the next round of giveaways. Jump across firstly to our wheel with our prizes on it, and we should be able to see that now.
Might have lost every bet there, Jax, but have you paid up?
Alrighty, let's spin this wheel here. We've got 4 more awesome prizes to give away. Don't forget, if you do win a prize, make sure you hit us up on the Discord or on our Insta for that prize. All right, we have a 3-player rare, and that is for Oz Cricket. That is the Oz Cricket competition starting in December. So if you aren't around that yet, make sure you get involved. Remember, don't open your packs yet because the player pool hasn't been updated for the new season coming up in December. So keep hold of those. Do not open them. So we'll send out that 3-player rare pack. That has also been donated by GameDay Squad. So thank you very much to the GameDay Squad boys. Alrighty, the 3-player rare pack for Oz Cricket. Let's spin the wheel and see who's going to win that one. Coming around, it is. Is it Napa? Is it Scorpion? Scorpion's got it. Good on you, Scorpion. Massive Scorpion. Oz Cricket fan. So congratulations to Scorpion, mate. Looking forward to that season. Back over to the wheel. Let's spin again for the next prize. So we're up to what, our 6th prize?
Yes, correct.
Righty, and our first Aussie Rules pack off the board. It is a 9-player rare. That again has been donated by GameDay Squad. So thank you very much to the boys over at GameDay Squad. 9-player rare. And let's spin the wheel over here to see who's won that. Coming around. Is it Stealth? Will he stay? Will he stay? Oh, just pipped. It is Timmy time. Timmy, it is your time, mate. Congratulations. 9-player rare pack coming to you over on the Aussie Rules side.
You know what sport Timmy time plays?
I'm pretty sure he's an Aussie Rules fan as well. Beautiful. So good on your Timmy time. All righty, 2 more spins. Let's get this hat going. Come on, where's the Fantasy Bros hat?
Wouldn't it be nice to see that be the very last
It'd
prize?
Be great. Alrighty, we have our first 10-player elite, and it is for rugby league. Alrighty, so we're going to change up the 10-player elite a little bit as well. So we're actually going to have 4 people split this 10-player elite because we want to share the love for everyone, and we are going to rip this pack live on stream. So we are going to spin the names 4 times. The first 3 are going to get a row each, and then the last one is going to get 1 card. And we are hoping somewhere in there is a legend rugby league player. So let's jump across here. So let's get this wheel spun 4 times. Stu, I hope you're taking note, mate. You've got pen and paper ready.
Jotting them down, yes.
Unreal. Here we go. The first winner, the first row is going to be Gracie. Gracie. Yes, it is. Well done, Gracie. Unreal there.
That's probably guaranteed diamonds.
Guaranteed diamonds with a chance of a legend. So there's Gracie. So 3 diamonds, potentially a legend coming your way, Gracie. Let's spin the wheel again. And it is coming round. Oh, someone already said it earlier. The rich get richer. Oh, good mate, Penrith.
Respin.
Good on you, mates. Look, I will let everyone in on a little bit of a secret, and hopefully Riff doesn't mind us saying this. He has never had a YouTube account in his life, and he just signed up and joined us so that he could be part of this today. So I reckon that should be a respin, shouldn't it? Nah, he's a good bloke.
Are you in the chat?
He's a good bloke. He gives away plenty as well. So I'm sure if he gets something that he's got double of, he might put it away. And finally, we've got the Mighty Hoss, part of the Game Day Society, doing some great work in the AFLW and the base there.
Mate. Congrats.
Congratulations. So those 3, you've got a row each. And then for the final card, we have...
And it could be a legend just sitting down there as well.
We've got walkies as well. Oh, mate. Unreal. All right.
Familiar faces popping up on your walkies.
Okay, let's refresh so that we can actually see this opening and get the Unreal animation here.
Oh, we're doing that now?
Let's do it now. So, Rugby League Elite, we can see that there.
Hang on, are they picking a row blindly?
I'm going to assign the row. So first, Gracie gets the top row. Second, third was Penrith. I'll put Penrith, and then Walkie gets the one. Walkie gets the one.
Okay, beautiful.
Let's go. All right. We can see that on screen.
How good's this? 8-player elite.
Let's do it. Love the animation of the elite pack. Boom. Here we go. Alrighty, first row is Gracie. Good luck, Gracie. We have Heath Mason. We have Lehigh Hopewade. That is massive. What an unreal card.
Big.
And to finish us off, we have a Campbell Graham from the Rabbitohs. Good work, Gracie. Make sure you hit us up on Discord or Instagram, and we'll get those cards to you through Game Day Squad. Alrighty, the next row. Who was the next row? Penrith. Here we go. Vermolga, good little player for the future for sure. Poseka. And Gray, not a bad card for the future. Remembering that Game Day Squad is a dynasty platform, so I love those couple of cards there for Penrith. And then finally, Mighty Hoss. Let's get around the three here. We've got a Ray Stone. We've got a Val Holmes diamond. Wowie, that is a bang for sure.
What a pack!
And we've got a Keanu Kinney diamond. That is huge.
Oh, you're kidding. Mighty Hoss, hit me up in the DMs, please.
I reckon you've got some money there. And finally, for Walkies, we've got a Bailey Hayward to finish off.
Wow, well done, everyone who was involved there.
Great
Some massive cards. And we've still got about 12 prizes.
Look, I love this comment.
This is going to be
here from JJ. Add the Legend Fogs to the wheel. Would you do that, Stu?
I don't know what he's talking about.
Oh, I love that. Unreal work. Congratulations to everyone there that has won one of those prizes. We will sort that out for you. Just jump into the DMs. And as always, more than happy to get some trades going as well. Ganners has already put up, does Hoss play NRL? Maybe Ganners is pretty keen for some of those cards. So you got plenty of buyers. Alrighty, so moving into edges then, mate. And like I said before, we've got a few options in the edge.
I think that's 7 prizes.
Is that 7?
Isn't it?
Did I miss one?
Yeah, that one took 5 minutes. I think
Unreal. Let's do one more. My apologies. I'm just too excited. Too excited for that pack. Alrighty, one more. Here we go. Let's see what we can get from this prize wheel to finish strong. In this round of prizes, we've got three-player common for Oz Cricket. So the Big Bash season coming up soon. That is three-player common for Oz Cricket. Again, we will get that prize to you when that season starts or just before that season starts and the player pool has updated. And the winner of the Oz Cricket three-player common is... Oh, it's going to be tight. And we talked about him before. It is Big Horse. Corey Horsburgh. Good on you, mate. Well done.
Big fan of the show.
Work. Good on your horse. Love what you do.
And we got the Mighty Hoss in here as well, saying it looks like he'll be playing NRL next season. It says the Game Day Society. I think he's probably inundated with DMs regarding some of those cards that he's just won from the 10-player elite pack. Audio deal. Edge forwards. We'll rip through a couple more positions and then get straight back to that mega wheel for some more prizes. No Hudson Young this week, so where this position is lacking a little bit, but we do get Keon Koloamatangi back for the Rabbitohs in that big matchup with the Sydney Roosters. Are you looking to play him alongside everyone's favourite, Jacob Preston?
Yeah, I think Preston's just a lock now every single week. Hey, no matter what is happening, as long as his name's on the team sheet, doesn't matter who they play. I just think he has so much attacking upside, which we obviously saw come to fruition last week. So I'm just going to lock him in with his base and power and that upside and be happy with whatever score that he gets there. And you're right, I am looking at Koloamatangi. He obviously returned last week and you were a little bit hesitant with some question marks over that early potential return. He's had that sort of 4 or 5 week rehab and he still smashed out 70 minutes in the middle. He did have a little spell there where he was off, and a few in the Discord were a bit concerned that he wasn't going to come back on, but he certainly did. And during that time, he still racked up the 30 plus tackles and almost 200 run meters, and he only had 3 demerits to his name. I think he missed 1 tackle, so pretty happy to lock in the starting prop playing 70 plus minutes with a base and power of 50 plus, and then that attacking upside again. And you can play him in your edge spot. I think it's just a no-brainer. And I know we've thrown around the term cheat code a few times this season, but Koloamatangi is just one of those. And when there's not a lot of elite upside in some of the other options that we have on screen there, and Crichton, Fermor, Katoa to an extent. I think there's potential there for Ali Katoa, and I think there's potential as well for Tallis Duncan, who's coming off a pretty good 2-round or last 2 games of 70 plus in both of those. But if you're happy to just run with that base and power of, sort of 50, and then that attacking upside that we know Kalongamatangi has, and he's playing through the middle, I think it's a no-brainer for me. And yeah, I'm just going to look at that safe floor with that upside.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if that South Sydney Rabbitohs bench will remain as named, but you've got Brandon Smith, Jacob Host, Cody Walker, and Cam Murray on the bench, a fairly small bench there as well. So you'd expect Keon to get plenty of minutes if that is how they do run out. And like I said earlier, look, Wayne Bennett seems to have this lot primed for a bit of a spoil the party outing against the Roosters. And wouldn't that be great to see? You'd expect Keon Kalongamatangi to be on the field for a big part of that. And when you can get a big minute forward like Keon, who's been elite when he's getting those big minutes, I think he's a pretty solid play there alongside Jacob Preston. Mate, I'm looking at also probably playing Eli Katoa on the bench as my second bench forward. Yeah. Look, if he gets to reconnect here with Jerome Hughes on the right edge there for the Storm, they'll want to bounce back after a really disappointing second half last weekend against the Roosters, where they were honestly embarrassed for that second 40 minutes. So I don't know if Jerome Hughes is fully fit, but they've obviously got a finals match next week. So it looks like Bellamy wants to give him a bit of a run out just to blow out some cobwebs. He may not get the full 80 minutes, but if he is tentative at all with that shoulder, it probably just means Eli Katoa is a little bit more involved in tackling, but also Hughes is probably more likely to sort of shovel the ball under him a little bit earlier than going right at the line just to protect that shoulder a little bit in a game that, it is fairly important to get things back on track for the Storm, but ultimately it's they don't have to win it. Their finals situation isn't going to change too much. So I think we'll see his normal base and power, which provides a really nice, safe floor. But with the Melbourne Storm against some decent teams, there's always that threat of edge forwards scoring tries. We know the Bronx are going to get up for this. They'll be wanting to win. They'll earn a top 4 spot if they do. So I can see this being a pretty decent game, and a game where someone like Eli Katoa can certainly shine.
Yeah, I don't mind it. The only reservation I have is the Broncos have been pretty good defending that side of the field, particularly against edges over the last 5, and they're only allowing 35. But we know, Katoa is a better player than some of the players that the Broncos have played up against or defended against lately. So there's plenty of opportunity there for Katoa to have a big game. The other player I actually don't mind from our list there. So we've got Preston Katoa, Kalongamatangi. We've got Angus Crichton and Tallis Duncan. I actually don't mind Beau Fermor. We've already talked about the Titans and Tigers game a little bit, and I will continue talking about that game and the potential that it has to probably have very little defence and a lot of attacking opportunities. And look, the Tigers have allowed 47 in the last month on that side of the field, the left side edge field there, and that includes a Huddy Young 71. So I think there's plenty of opportunity for Beau Fermor to have a big game, as we've seen in the past. The concern, obviously, is if they have an injury outside him, he shifts straight out to that centre, or the wing. The centre moves out to the wing, and he moves to the centre, and he never really scores as much as he does playing on the edge. So there's always question marks over him as well. But I don't mind him this week against a Tigers side that, both sides have nothing to play for, but the Titans will want to play for a little bit of pride and the future, I think, as well, in terms of who's going to be coaching there and what it's going to look like. So I think Fermor's a pretty good shout.
Yeah, we could see plenty of pods across that edge position. Skip has reminded us another plus here for Eli Katoa is no Shibasaki in the side, stood down due to disciplinary reasons. Bit of a silly weekend to have a couple of drinks and turn up to training a little bit hungover, with the Broncos, on the precipice there of a top 4 finish. So some more reasons, some more ammunition there to slot Eli Katoa. Will be running it Dean Mariner defending on that left side centre spot. So there could be some weaknesses there for the Bronx. So nice pick up there, Skip, and that's just giving me a bit more confirmation in that Eli Katoa play. Right, Jill, the halves this week, we've got a plethora of options, and sadly it means that we're going to have to leave some of them out. We've obviously got Nathan Cleary, who returns for this wonderful tune-up match here against the Dragons, where we probably expect the Panthers to run up a bit of a score. They have named Schneider on the bench there in the number 14, so that's probably insurance there for Nathan Cleary to have a bit of a spell if things go to plan. We did see what Nathan Cleary could do in 50 minutes there off the bench against the Eels not too long ago post-Origin. He's just a superstar, whether he gets 80 minutes or maybe only 60 on the park. He's still someone you've got to play in your team regardless, isn't he?
I challenge anyone to fade him with any confidence. I definitely won't be doing that. And in fact, I'll just load up on the salary with him. I think it's just a no-brainer again. Majority, or a large percentage of coaches are going to roll out Nathan Cleary if they've got a card of his. And I think for that reason, it's just a really simple player to load up some salary and potentially get that point of difference playing a potential gold versus someone's bronze in maybe that contender side. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy to roll him out if he gets in the same boat there. So I don't necessarily think that's too much of an issue. From there, it's actually quite hard to find two other blokes to pair with him. I mean, all those names there on screen are pretty decent options in Jaden Campbell, Sam Walker, Nico Hines. DCE's had an unreal couple of games, and then Izzy Katoa as well. So, yeah, at the moment, I've got a couple of players, and kind of it's really going to be dependent how the weekend goes. I think JC probably for me is another lock. He's just been an absolute beast pretty much against every team he plays. He's on a 5-round rolling average of 78 GDS points. I think the most impressive part of all of that, it's not just that he scores against teams, but against the teams that those scores have happened, the Panthers and the Sharks in particular, the Warriors as well, when they had a good game there against the Titans. Those are some pretty good defensive sides in the Panthers and Sharks, and JC's still able to just rack up the points. And on the other side, the Tigers have been pretty good at limiting the right side halves. So it's going to be a really interesting battle. The Tigers have limited right side halves to only 32 GDS points in the last month. So it'll be a really interesting battle. And as I said, really hoping for just a massive attacking style of game with very little defense, and just let the boys, put the 2025 season to bed and go out with a bang and go into Mad Monday with a plethora of tries. So let's hope that JC's involved in all of them.
Yeah, give the fans a nice big send-off, and thank them for coming out with plenty of points, a nice big 40 all scoreline after 90 minutes. I think you and I would both be pretty happy with, based on some of the plays that we're rolling out there in both sides. Mate, Jaden Campbell will find a spot for me as well. Like you said, he just accumulates points so good, almost only a bit like Nathan Cleary does. No one else really can match those two, the way that they can accumulate points at such a rapid rate. For me, my third half, at least in my probably team that I'm closest to a prize card in, I'm probably going to roll out DCE, and that was a name that we probably didn't even mention, wasn't even in our top 6 probably a month or so ago. But he's just been insane over the last couple of weeks. And he now plays his final match for Manly at home, needing to win. I think that is perfect for him and a number of the other Manly boys, putting on a nice big score and plenty of game day squad points. We will also know how much the Warriors have to play for after Thursday night's fixture between the Broncos and the Storm. If the Broncos do get up, then the Warriors don't really have anything to play for, and they'll be sort of locked into that 5th spot. So they'll have a home final, but they're not going to be able to push into the top 4. So what that means is that they probably might be erring on the side of caution there a little bit, and looking to rest some players, or maybe not go 100%, whereas Manly just have to put the foot down and score as many points as they can. And that just is perfect there for Turbo and DCE. DCE's playmaking has been insane over the last couple of weeks. 8 try assists, 15 goals and a try in those past 2 matches. Obviously a lot tougher there with the Warriors, but like we said, if the Broncos get up, DCE, there's every chance that he could go back-to-back top scores and push near that ton once again. Is he in consideration for you at all?
Yeah, I've got him and Nico Hines currently sort of highlighted, underlined, circled as 2 potential players to come into my side, depending on what happens in some earlier matchups. Look, I like DCE, and Manly have obviously got a very slim chance of making the finals, and it really depends on a whole lot of other teams and other aspects. But I really like those numbers that he has been putting up, and it's against the Warriors, and who knows what the Warriors are going to throw up. We just never know what happens with them. And DC obviously been sensational the last few weeks, scoring that 97 and 100 against the Dolphins and Dragons, respectively. The concern that I have, I guess, is the 3 games before that, he could only manage 1 game above 30. So I do have some reservations around DCE there. And then the other one is Nico Hines, who's up against the Bulldogs, and that could just be a massive game there. The Bulldogs have been pretty good at allowing right side halves some points, particularly the last month, allowing 52. That includes a 91 from Dewey in that absolute mudbath of the game. The 51 from Sif Kanga's boyfriend, actually, Wishart, scored a 51 against the Bulldogs there, and then even a 40 to Brad Schneider, of all people, last week. So there's definite options there for someone like Nico Hines to have a big game. And there could be a pivot if the Broncos don't get up and then the Sharks are playing for that 4th place. I think that's going to be super important, and that probably comes into it as well, that the Bulldogs don't have too much to play for and they're just sort of getting themselves prepped for the final series. So the Sharks will want to try and move into that 4th spot if they can. So yeah, Hines is definitely on my radar there. But at this stage, I am running out Izzy Katoa up against an undermanned, understrength Raiders side, albeit that they've still got a couple of starters at least. But there's just a few boys there from Rezzies, and I think 3 on debut as well. So that's awesome to see. Look, the Raiders, they've been pretty good at defending the left side halves in particular, allowing only 40 GDS points in the last month at full strength. But obviously, a different side when there's 10 of your top blokes out as well. So at this stage, I'm just going to run with Izzy Katoa based on that. And he's been absolutely enormous this year. He's averaging 22 tackles, 100 plus running meters, 440 kicking meters, 3 tackle breaks, and then 1 try assist per game as well. So we know that similar to someone like Cleary and JC, that he gets done across a number of areas of the park. Look, at this stage, he's averaging 53, and that has him good enough to be ranked 6th based on averages across the halves. And he's only one of 3 in the top 10 halves who have played all of the games to date. So it's awesome to see Izzy being, completely healthy for the whole season and really organising the Dolphins around the park. And that game could have massive implications as well, depending on what happens earlier. So yeah, I'm gonna, at this stage, to sum it all up, I'm going Izzy Katoa with a potential pivot based on what's happening to either Hines or DCE. And I'm probably leaning towards Hines more so than DCE at this stage.
And roll out any of those 6 and you'll probably still be rewarded with some pretty big scores. Don't overthink about it. Go with your head. Who's going to score the most based on the matchup? You probably can't go wrong with any of those 6. Who's going to be the top 3 is going to be the tricky decision. Mate, we're nearly at the hour mark and we've only gone through 1 backs position. Let's get things rolling and hand out 4 more prizes before we attack 2 more positions.
Okay, let's get 4 more prizes happening. All right, let's spin this wheel straight away. Get into it. Here we go. Come on. Oh, we've gone past the hat. We've got a 9-player unique, and it is for Rugby League. That is a 9-player unique. And the winner of that 9-player unique pack is... Getting round. Here we go. It is on... Pushing. It is Nathan Hartwell. Nathan Hartwell.
Wow, well done, Nathan.
Congratulations, mate. That is a 9-player unique pack. That is an unreal prize there for you over on the Rugby League side of things. Alrighty, we've still got a couple of elite packs in there. We've got a couple of decent diamonds, and we have everyone's favourite all-star in James Tedesco, the face of GameDay squad. James Tedesco, all-star.
And will this person be able to play him this week?
They will definitely be able to play him. That's a little teaser for our fullbacks position, I think. And that player playing them is one of our good mates from the Oz cricket season. It's Mian G.
Good on you, Mian G.
Unreal. Good on you, mate. All righty, let's spin this
one more time.
Oh, are we pushing the elite? Oh, not quite. We've got the Luke Metcalf diamond on the Rugby League side. He started off with a cracker season, unfortunately, succumbed to injury and has missed the back half, but hopefully he'll be fresh for 2026.
Yeah, be a bit handy pickup for next season.
The Warriors certainly need him. We've gone downhill since he had his injury. The winner of the Luke Metcalf diamond is Fighting Fury. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Fighting Fury. And one more, I think.
Here we go. Last one of this round. What do we got? Awesome. We've got the Daniel Sams Gold over in Oz Cricket. Again, another card that was donated by the Game Day squad boys. Thank you very much to Cal and Tom. They do some unreal work, and they have supported us and everyone here by donating a few prizes. Thank you very much. The Daniel Sams Gold is going to big wheel spin. Plenty of names there. Oh, again, it's tight. Hastings Hornet. Hastings Hornet. I think they're a Aussie Rules on the Aussie Rules side of things, but maybe we could entice them over to Oz Cricket for sure with a Daniel Sams Gold.
All right, Dill, let's keep things ticking along with the preview of the centres this week. And I think all of us will be talking about one man, and that's Herbie Farnworth. We've got him down there at the bottom, and there is some reservation with him. He's obviously not named in the 17 or the starting centres at the moment. So we'll have to wait for those 24-hour cuts and then obviously the 1 hour cut as well, just to make sure that he is named. But if he is named there on the team sheet, I think a lot of coaches will be pretty pleased to have him back and have him available. But for me, I think we'll know if he's going to play or not by about 10 p.m. on Friday night. Because if the Roosters win against the Rabbitohs, then I feel it's very unlikely that Herbie plays on Sunday, given that the Finns and their finals hopes will be gone. It'll be a nothing to achieve game, and with Herbie maybe rush back a little bit soon to play this fixture if it means a lot for them, he's probably going to be put back in the garage and rest up for next season. So I think it really comes down to the Rabbitohs versus Roosters game, and those people wanting to roll out a Herbie Farnworth card on Sunday probably need to get their Rabbitohs colours on and come out in support of them to get an upset win there over the Roosters. If the Rabbitohs do get up, then there is that small chance there for the Dolphins, and I think that's when we can expect Herbie to line up there in the centres, and they'll take on that understrength Raiders outfit, and they can get a win over that team, so they can leapfrog the Roosters into the 8. But obviously, it comes down to that Rabbitohs matchup earlier on. So I think we'll know by Friday night. If you're going to go to bed early Friday night, you'll still get the news early Saturday, and then you can decide if you're going to pivot or not. But fortunately, because the Finns play late on in the round, I don't think we need to sort of lock in and make a decision immediately. Obviously, keep him in mind. But for me, I'm not going to plug him into any of my teams at the moment until we see that result on Friday night. So, mate, I'm going to go with Stephen Crichton and KL Iro. They're playing against each other in a pretty big clash there with both teams, pretty much full strength. Dogs obviously locked in the top 4. The Sharkies wanting to win to have a chance of making that top 4. And Iro's come back from injury. He's got that one game under his belt. Look, he wasn't amazing, but he still got through plenty of work. He finally didn't score a try, which is pretty incredible given the run that he'd been on. I think the Sharkies should have done everything they could to feed him the ball and keep that run continuing. But look, there's probably not too much upside for either of these two teams, bar putting in a pretty good performance leading into the finals. And in that case, I think we can see some pretty solid floor and base and power from these two guys. But one thing I do like about Stephen Crichton is that he's been playing that sort of hybrid centre fullback attacking role. He's been sweeping both sides of the field in attack and getting his hands on the ball in the opposition 20 quite a lot. He's obviously kicking goals, so if the Sharkies are off their game, then he's going to score a few points when he kicks the ball through the sticks as well, if he retains those duties and they haven't gone back to Matty Burton. But yeah, look, I think we'll be pretty fluid again with the centre's position. It probably does rely on that Roosters-Rabbitohs game and whether we're going to play Herbie or not. But for me, Stephen Crichton, Kale Iro, probably a bit of safety with some attacking upside from both of them.
Yeah, I like the Iro shout for sure. I'm going to go back to KL this week as well, and we've obviously seen that he is a try-scoring machine, but he is actually human as well by not getting one last week. Unfortunately, that 9-game try-scoring streak has come to an end, which is a bit of a shame. Look, at the end of the day, though, coming back from injury, the bloke still had 12 tackles, 135 running meters, and 5 tackle breaks. So it's hard not to look at those numbers and go, yep, let's get him into our lineup, particularly in a week where the centre position's sort of up in the air a little bit, and it's as volatile as ever anyway, because there's a couple of players there that, we've already touched on Herbie Farnworth. Crichton potentially might not have the kicking duties. He might retain those, and we've seen that he can go big or he can have some poor games as well and score less than 20 potentially. So I'm going to stick with Iro just based on that ability to get his base and power above that sort of 40, hopefully, and then look for some upside there as well. At this stage, I have locked in Herbie Farnworth, and we obviously don't need any stats to support Herbie. He's just an absolute freak. And before his injury, he had a 5-round rolling average of 64. But then we take out that injury-impacted game with the Warriors, where he still scored 50 points in one half of footy. We take that away, and his previous 5 scores, his average was soaring above 70. So for a centre, scoring 70 plus, I think is just unreal. And hopefully we have a pretty good idea earlier in the week whether he is going to play or not. I've just been thinking, and I haven't got too many stats to put together, but I kind of like RTS as well. I know Manly, they're allowing some decent points to left wingers, and they're allowing about an average of 53 over the last month. And then Roger over the last 2 weeks has had some decent scores, albeit he has had 3 tries across the last 2 weeks of scores of 81 and 77. So it's a bit concerning that he needs to cross the line, I think, to score anything above 30 or above 40, because the previous 2 weeks he had a 39 and a 32 against the Dragons and Bulldogs. And in one of those games, he did score as well. So I am having a look at RTS based on the matchup. It's probably going to be dependent on whether they can make the 4 or whether they're just sort of playing for that 6th spot where it's sort of solidified. So if there's some option of them potentially playing the 4, I might look to pivot to RTS as well. Because if he does score, he's going to probably score. He does score a try, he's probably going to score pretty well. So at this stage, it's Farnworth and KL for me, but definitely some options in RTS, maybe even Stags might have a look in a couple of sides, just depending on what that final Broncos and Storm side looks like.
Yeah, for sure. Let us know in the comments who you are rolling out in your centres. It might be Bobby Toya to pair him up there with Mark Nawangani-Tuase. We saw both of them put on an absolute clinic last week in that second half there against the Storm. They now have that easier fixture on paper there against the Rabbitohs, so there could be a big shout for playing both of them, or at least Marky Mark there on the right wing for the Roosters. I will be looking in that direction alongside Zachy Lomax there in the final match of the round. But there are some pretty good other fixtures there as well. Players like Lehigh Hopewade on the end of that Manly back line. Taylor May's been awesome for the Tigers, and he's every chance of scoring tries in patches, in bulk numbers against the Titans there. And Tommy Jenkins on that left wing for the Penrith Panthers against the Dragons, every chance of finding the stripe as well. If we expect the Dolphins to put on a score against the understrength Raiders, we know that they've been attacking left really, really well. But Jermaine Osako kicking across the line or 2 as well, and he could be onto a big score. So I do think Lomax and Marky Mark are going to be pretty popular. I don't know if Marky Mark has that hat trick in him. I do think that there might be a bit of an ambush, but I'm certainly confident on Zachy Lomax. I think the Eels are going to put the cleaners through the Knights. He'll probably score a try or 2, kick plenty of goals, and the Knights are going to limp off that field licking their wounds. And we're going to have a nice big score from Zachy Lomax to finish the round. That's the way I'm going. Where are you going, Dill?
Yeah, I do like the Marky Mark shout there, obviously coming off the massive 4 try effort. I was a little bit concerned, though. I saw that the Panthers have all their stars back and had a look at the team sheet, and there was no Brian To'o, which was a bit disappointing. And then I go across to the Bulldogs team sheet, and there's no Kiraz. So that sort of limited our options, I think, a little bit. So I am going to run with Nawaqanituaze. I really like what he's been doing pretty much all season, really. He's had a great season, and he's probably got the individual try of the year, I think I'll call it, award probably stitched up with his little chip over the top effort. But he's had plenty of other, been on the end of plenty of other sort of team try efforts as well. So I like what he's doing. And the interesting thing, the Rabbitohs have allowed 40 points to left wingers. They've actually allowed 55 to right wingers. So there's also a shout potentially for the right side to have a decent score as well. But we did see that in terms of the last month of footy, we had the the standout game with the Broncos up against the Rabbitohs, and both wingers went above 70 points. So we could see that again as well, depending on how the Rabbitohs roll out. And look, I don't feel great about this second option. You did name him. The Eels do face the Knights at CommBank Stadium, and it feels kind of full circle for the Fantasy Bros. We kicked off the season interviewing James Tedesco at the start of the year over at CommBank Stadium, and now I'm going to be riding Lomax pretty hard Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, because he could be the make or break of my GDS season, and I'm super nervous about that. Because outside of a decent game against the Bunnies in round 24, Lomax has been pretty disappointing. He's been averaging 26 across the last across 4 of the last 5 games that he's played, and he does come up against the Knights side who just have forgotten, don't know how to, or just don't care about defending anymore. I'm not quite sure. We've said it probably the last 4 weeks that they're just looking ahead to their Mad Monday and what that Bali trip's going to look like. And as a result, since round 21, the Knights have allowed an average of 40 40 NRL points put on them each and every week. I think there was one game of 38 and another game of 42, but it's absolutely ridiculous, the scores that they're letting in. And as a result, the right wingers are really feasting. We got 52.5 averaging for the right wingers up against the Knights. So if the Eels can put on a big score, I think Zachy Lomax is going to have a big part of that with the goal kicking as well. I think hopefully there's going to be a big score in Zachy Lomax.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, those that followed the numbers last week would have put Sione Katoa into a number of their teams. Yet all the points were scored on the left wing through Ronaldo Mulatalo. So is it a Josh Adokar week? Maybe. Obviously, like the safety there in Lomax kicking goals as well. That obviously makes...
Do not tempt me in Josh Adokar this week, mate. I do not need that in my life.
Well, look, I won't play him either. But look, Lomax has that upside with the goal kicking. Mitchy Moses there is going to run all of the play down the right-hand side of the field, you would expect. And we know that Zach Lomax is going to put in his massive shift of 20 to 25 runs. And with that comes some offloads and some tackle breaks. He'll probably look at this game and go, oh, yeah, bit of an easy game here against the Knights. I'm going to rip in and make a nice solid statement here to finish the season. I don't want to miss out on those big scores that he can certainly put up.
Yeah, I agree. Alrighty, I think it's time for another wheel spin. What do you reckon?
Let's do it. That's what people are here for.
Alrighty, we've got 8 prizes left, and there's still some massive prizes up on the board, including 2 10-player elite Aussie rules packs. That is massive, as well as some James Tedesco cards there to boot. Let's get into it. Alrighty, the next prize is a Sam Billings Diamond. He has re-signed with the Thunder, so it's good to see him back this season. And we are giving away the Sam Billings Diamond for the Oz Cricket Season 2. Another good mate on the show, Cozzy's Posse. Good on you, Cozzy.
Cozzy.
Alrighty. Here we go. The next prize. We've still got some great prizes there. The Matt Short Plat as well will be unreal. There it is. Our man, James Tedesco. Diamond James Tedesco. Great card to finish the season. And that is going to... Oh, is it going to get to Ganners? It is. Turn and Burn. I know Turn and Burn is having a bit of a battle with Prison Mike at the moment across the classic competition. So Turn and Burn might need that card there, and we might get it out to him as quick as possible.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a big play in the classic comp.
That'd be huge. Alrighty, here it is.
Here it is.
It's time. Here we go. The Fantasy Bros hat. Here it is.
We're going to
honorary member. Here we go. Ooh, this is the big one. One of the big prizes. Good luck, everyone. Oh, love it. Matty P, I think he's been following us since the beginning of the season. Feel like he's watched every show. Matty P, you deserve that Fantasy Bros hat, mate.
Yeah, I think he's a worthy winner there. Well done, Matty P.
Now, do we have one more prize here for this round?
We do.
Into it.
Yep.
Oh, congratulations, Matt. Unreal.
Hats for everyone, Stealth says.
Keep an eye out. There might be a way to be able to win some more potentially soon. All right, we've got a 10-player elite over on the Aussie rules side. So we're going to do the same as we did for the rugby league. We're going to spin the wheel 4 times. First 3 are going to get a row, and the last one is going to get that last card. Here we go. Good luck, everyone. And the winner of the first row is Jay Boney. Congratulations, Jay Boney. Well done.
Well done, Jay Boney. 3 diamonds, maybe a legend coming to
Let's
you
get a legend
from the AFL side of things.
On stream would be unreal. The next row, Dan's Dynamos. He had a big match up against you last week in the head-to-head competition that we've got going on. Did you want to give him a shout out there, mate?
Yeah, good on you, Dan. Well done, mate. Nice, another nice Canberra Raiders supporter. Did knock him off in the in that little competition that we had going on there in the grand final, but nice of him to win. I don't know if he plays AFL, but well done, Dan.
And then finally, we've got Donald Basin, who is massive over on the football side. You would have seen some of his stuff over the last few weeks leading into the football season.
Good.
That is massive. Good on you, Zonald. Looking forward to all the content that you're putting out. Zonald also said that he might be jumping over onto the Discord stage and ripping open some football packs tonight as well. So keep an eye on that. And finally, 1 player goes to
Chance of a legend.
Cash Money. Unreal. Some great work there. Alrighty, let's jump across. Got to refresh the page so we can make sure that we can all see.
There you go. Dan's an AFL gun as well. He's going to love those 3.
Awesome. Alrighty. Here we go.
Chance of a legend.
The awesome Elite Pack animation. Let's get into it. So guaranteed diamonds, potential legend. Here we go. All right, first row. Who was the winner there?
Row, Jay Boney. Jay Boney.
First up, Hines. Not the Nico Hines, but C. Hines. Look, I'm going to be honest. I've got no idea about Aussie rules, so maybe our boys in the chat, Has and Pity, about to post some content, making sure we get in there first. Sims, and then Hutchinson as well. Congratulations, Jay Boney. Alrighty, next up.
Next row is for Dan.
And we've got Gunston. I think he's pretty good. We've got Cottrell and Coleman. Kitty Coleman. Unreal. Met him earlier in the year. He was doing some stuff at my son's school. Kitty Coleman, great bloke.
And Zonald for row 3.
Here we go. We've got...
Give us some red.
Sharks and a Campbell. Okay, and finally, Cash Money with the last one. We got a diamond, and it is blank. No, literally the name blank. Yeah. Righty, congratulations those people that have won those prizes. Coleman's a good card, says Has, so that's good to see. Ganner's saying that he's a good one for the future. Unreal. We've still got 4 prizes to give out, and we'll get to that at the end of the show. Let's try and wrap this up as quick as we can because we have probably overstayed our welcome a little bit. Stu, who are you looking at for fullbacks, mate, considering we've got some unreal options?
Yeah, similar to the halves position, a plethora of good fullback options this week. So, look, probably another position where I'm going to sprinkle 5 or 6 of these options across my 4 teams and probably a position that coaches can go a number of different directions. And I think maybe some prize cards could be decided based on the selections across the fullback position. Obviously, you don't have to pick 3, but a week like this, we're expecting plenty of big points to be scored across the fullback position. So picking 1 on field and 2 on the bench is probably the best way to go. Mate, we've mentioned him a few times already. A couple of coaches in the chat have already won a James Tedesco card. There's been a diamond and an all-star given away tonight already. Mate, he was unreal against the Storm in that second half last week. I think he's going to want to continue that form this week here in that final round match against the Rabbitohs, where it is a must-win for the Roosters. They're expected to win. And you just know these are the matches in which James Tedesco stands up. And look, if he's anywhere near his form from that second half last week, we can probably rely on a pretty decent score. Even if he doesn't find the try line, plenty of runs, plenty of tackle breaks. He provides that really safe floor with plenty of upside. He does have Sammy Walker back alongside him. He scores with Sammy Walker, word down for 3 or 4 matches, and then they absolutely skyrocketed for a game or two. So let's hope he's on the end of a big score alongside Sammy Walker. And if we're plugging James Tedesco into our teams, I think some of us will want to hope the Roosters win by 50. I know he's in your side, so let's move on to our next fullback. For me, that's going to be Tommy Turbo. Pair him with DCE in a team, and that could be a really nice stack, particularly if the Broncos do get up over the Storm on Thursday night. That'll relegate the Warriors to 5th place. They've got no chance of the 4, and Manly have that really small chance of causing some serious headaches in that top 8. So they're going to want to score plenty of points. It's DCE's final game at 4 Pines. They're capable of scoring big points in big batches. If you're playing DCE, I think it's really smart to play Turbo as well, or Turbo can certainly be a standalone in case you want to hedge against some of the coaches rolling out DCE. He's probably going to be amongst the points. He's looked really healthy, really strong, really good the last couple of rounds. And I think he's going to continue his run of form this weekend.
Yeah, just imagine if we get to that point, that game Friday night, and there's a potential for Manly to make the 8 by scoring, 80 points against the Warriors. Imagine if they put on a ton against the Warriors, and that would be unreal scenes. But yeah, I'm also going Turbo for some similar reasons. The Warriors have allowed 50 over the last month to fullbacks, and Turbo's probably, I think we can say he's returned to Turbo form. He's got a 5-round rolling average of 55, and then we shorten that to the 3-round filter by those games, and it's 65 GDS points in those 3. So I think it should be an absolute slobber knocker of a game, the Warriors against Manly. And look, the other thing we can look at is Iongi scored 70 against the hapless Warriors last week. So I can really see Turbo going large at home on a Friday night. 4 Pines should be unreal for that crowd. So I think, lock Turbo into my side. I did mention at the start of the show, I've got a couple of risky plays, and this is one of them. I'm actually going to run out Iongi against the Knights this week, purely because of the matchup that they have. Look, the Knights have allowed 75 points to fullbacks over the last month. So it is going to be that riskier play because he's not known as one of those top fullbacks that are able to accumulate points sort of across the park. And we haven't really spoken about him too much. But yeah, with that average where the Knights have just put it to bed and they just don't care about defending at all. They've let in 110 points to both Drinky and Walsh in the last couple of weeks. Look, they did restrict Edwards and Kennedy to less than 40 though. So it's a little bit nervous, but if I do get nervous, and I probably will, I think I've got a pretty good option to pivot, and you're going to talk more about him in a moment, in that man, Trey Fuller. I think he could be a great pivot option, or even if someone isn't keen to play Iongi, I think Fuller will be a great option there.
Yeah, Matty P is thinking along the same lines with Teddy and Fuller. Like Harry, like Tom, like Sif, everyone's rolling out Reece Walsh. And look, I'll be rolling him out in my challenger side, given I own his prize card. So I get his diamond multiplier at the cost of a gold. But I'm not so certain he continues his run of excellent form. I'm not expecting a big 70 or an 80, certainly not 100. We did see what Teddy did against that Storm outfit last week, but they're not going to allow a fullback and an opposition team to roll through them like they did last weekend. So look, I think it's a really tough matchup here for Reece Walsh. He's obviously in some incredible form. I know that you deep dived into the stats and saw how players bounce back from some toilet-related incidents. We knew that Reece Walsh had a bit of a potty mouth, but he just took that to the extreme, didn't he? Look, I'm not that confident. I don't think he's going to continue that massive run of scores that he has been going in. I'm still going to run him out, but he won't feature across all of my sides. I don't think I can take that much risk into a Thursday night match. If he returns a 30 or a 35, which he's definitely capable of, I might be a bit of a sad and miserable man over the rest of the weekend there. So, yeah, like you alluded to, Trey Fuller for me. He's been in some outstanding form. I'm hoping the stars align, that the Rabbitohs get up. Herbie Farnworth gets named for the Finns. He's in the left centre. Hammer's in the right centre. And Fuller retains his number one spot there at the back. That paired with Isaiah Katoa is just going to be a dynamic football side capable of scoring a plethora of points. And I think Trey Fuller will be amongst a lot of that. Look, he doesn't even need those big superstars around him. He can make things happen himself. And we saw him beat up on the Titans last weekend. I don't know if they'll fix a Raiders reserve grade side. And obviously a lot of those boys will have plenty to prove. But look, they're probably not first grade caliber football players like a lot of the Finns, and certainly Trey Fuller has proven that he is. So I think he can feast. Like you said, Iongi is a great play. He's got an excellent matchup there on paper. If that team list change there for the Dolphins and maybe Fuller goes back to the bench or Herbie comes in and then Hammer moves to fullback, if there's a bit of movement there, I love your Iongi shout, and he'll certainly find a spot on my bench in one or two of my sides as well. So, not that confident on Reece Walsh. Love the Trey Fuller shout. Probably one of the few fullbacks I don't own a diamond card for. So if anyone's here in the chat and wants to jump into my DMs and get some trades happening for a diamond Trey Fuller, let me know.
Yeah, unreal. Look, just on Walshy, I can understand why people are wanting to play him. He's coming off a 3-round rolling average of 107 GDS points, which, look, I don't have the last 4 years' worth of GDS scores with me, but I'm sure if I did, I would suggest that that's the highest 3-round average of any player that we've seen in Game Day squad. And the reason is, in those 3 games, he had a combined 4 tackles, 650 run meters, 530 kicking meters, 3 tries, 15 goals, 5 try assists, and a massive 35 tackle breaks across 3 games. So I can completely understand why people want to play Reece Walsh. The thing that's turning me off is the last time he played the Storm in round 23, he scored 31.7. And as you said, you really don't want to be starting off your weekend with a 31.7. You're going to have a pretty sad and sorry week in Game Day squad, particularly if that's going to be a score that you have in that fullback role or that fullback spot where we know some big points can be scored. So yeah, I'm fading him as well at the moment. He'll appear in a couple of sides, but yeah, in the classic, I'm going Teddy Turbo with that split between Iongi and Fuller, depending on what happens with some team lists.
Would a coach be silly to roll out a Chevy Stewart if they're in a Chevy Stewart card?
If someone owns a Chevy Stewart card, hit me up. I don't have one, and I would love one because I rate the bloke so highly, and we've talked about him a lot in the off-season and throughout the season. Look, the Dolphins, they've been allowing plenty of points to fullbacks as well. And in fact, they've been allowing 70 points over the last month to fullbacks. So if you do rate Chevy Stewart, that's a decent option for you. When I first looked at the team list, I saw Stewart and I thought, oh, mate, if they put Jed Stewart at the back here, this could be a little cheat code. We've got a middle forward in GDS playing in fullback. We could get it on that. But yeah, it's Chevy Stewart, who I love as well. So if anyone does have a Chevy Stewart card, please hit me up. I would love one of those. And I might play him in my starter if that's possible.
Did you say Jed Stewart is in middle forward?
In GDS, yes, he is.
Wow.
How good's that? That's so awesome. Hey? So he's obviously played some middle some point in his career, but yeah, he's a great winger at the moment, and he's doing some good things, irrespective of the fact that he's the coach's son. I think he's earned his spot there in the team.
Yeah, mate, absolutely. And we had Xavier Savage go down injured and Savelio Tamale come back from injury. It would have been interesting to see what Ricky Stewart did there with the 3 fullbacks, the 3 wingers to choose from. He was obviously forced; his hand was forced there to play Tamale in Xavier Savage's absence. But Jed Stewart's been really good, and wouldn't it be great to see a father and son win a premiership? I don't know how long ago that's happened. It probably doesn't happen that often.
No, not at all.
But no, let's stop Ivan and Nathan winning premierships. Let's normalize Ricky and Jed winning a premiership.
I did see a stat earlier in the week about teams outside the top 4 making it to the grand final. They've never won a grand final. So those teams outside the top 4, I think they've got little chance of making that grand final. If they do, they're definitely not winning. So there's plenty of opportunity there for the Raiders, and I might have to don my signed Raiders jersey to support your boys if it's the Warriors are out.
Should be everyone's second team, the milk. Mate, here is a look at our round 27 squads. Still's differences are highlighted there in gold. He's opting for Herbie and Isaiah Katoa over my Stephen Crichton and Daly Cherry Evans. He's gone Cook instead of Blake Brayley. He's running out Naf White. I'm running out Eli Katoa. And like we've just mentioned there in the fullback position, I like the Trey Fuller shout, but Iongi has a great matchup there on paper as well. So hopefully we can steer you into a couple of good picks for this round. Mate, very quickly before we run through our last 4 prizes, get this for Brodown Showdown. You got the dub 2-1, but would you believe that I won total points by about 20? Let me just run through the scores very quickly. Your Terrell May, 89.2, beat Payne Haas 88.2, so 1 point in it. Your Jacob Carraz, 34.3, Taylor May, 33.6, so 0.7, less than a point. And then my JC outscored your Nico Hines by 22 points, 85 to 63. So look, it goes down on paper as a win to you. I think that's an incredibly hollow victory, and you'd be a brave man to be proud and to claim that.
Not at all. The great Vin Diesel once said, it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile, winning is winning. And I'm going to take that win. And I'm pretty sure if we go back and have a look, you did say last Brodown Showdown is the winner for the year. So I'll take that victory and I'll run with that to the cows come home.
Are we not playing next week?
Well, we could play next week because there is some finals happening. So that would be a good way to finish up on the finals as well. Alrighty. And to finish us off for the show, thank you very much to everyone who stuck around for an hour and a half. Obviously, much longer than the usual show.
Wow.
It is an hour and a half of chatting footy and spinning a wheel for some prizes. There are still some great prizes there, including the Matt Short Plat, James Tedesco Gold, Laurie Evans Diamond, and the 10-player elite for Aussie Rules. Let's spin the wheel. Let's see what prize we are opening next. And it is the James Tedesco Gold. Unreal. So let's see who's going to run away with a James Tedesco Gold. He is the face of Game Day Squad, and he's had an unreal season as well.
G'day, Timo. Thanks for subscribing, mate.
Unreal. And the winner of the Gold Teddy is Miles Swell. Miles Swell. Unreal. Great work there, Miles Swell. Thank you very much for your support. Make sure you hit us up in the DMs over on Discord or Insta, and we will organise that for you.
All right.
Here we go.
We got 3 left.
Laurie Evans Diamond. He's heading back to the Perth Scorchers where he started his career in the Big Bash, so he should be an unreal player this season. So winning the Laurie Evans Diamond for the Oz Cricket season 2025-2026 is the Blue Ballers. Unreal. Blue Ballers. Again, I think it's another Aussie Rules legend over there. So coming over to the Oz Cricket side as well. Don't forget the Fantasy Bros will be covering everything Oz Cricket this season as well, starting with some pre-season shows leading into the December kickoff. So make sure you keep that subscription to our YouTube channel. Alrighty, and our second last prize is going to be that 10-player elite for the Aussie Rules. Let's remove that and let's spin the wheel here. Same thing as we did before. 4 winners. First 3 get 3 guaranteed diamonds with the potential of a legend. First,
surely
let's get a legend. Isaru Wu, congratulations, mate. You have secured 3 guaranteed diamonds with the potential of a legend. That's the top row there. Isaru Wu. Followed up by Rory. Is it going to be Rory? Yes, it is. Rory, congratulations.
Rules up.
And the third row of the 10-player elite for the Aussie Rules is Stephen. Good on you, Stephen.
Well done, Stephen.
And the final card in that 10.
Oh, we've got Izzy in the chat. Good on you, Izzy.
Is Drisbell. Good on you. Let's jump across and get that pack cracking, shall we? Alrighty. So
Izzy, do you play AFL, mate?
Okay, let's share that.
Let us know.
Over to the packs. Let's scroll down to our final elite for the night. Let's get some red. Come on. I spun on my chair and used my left hand. Let's go. Okay, the top row. Who's that going to again, Stu?
That is Izzy.
Perfect.
I think we've got Izzy in the chat.
Let us know. We've got a Rosis. Oh, here it is.
What? Why is he clicking so fast?
Oh, no. I've ruined it. Oh.
Who is it? I can't read it.
Trezees? Oh, I hope he's a decent player. Oh, I cannot believe I did.
Izzy, there you go, mate.
As soon as I saw red, my hand started shaking. I accidentally
You even said it, then you clicked it.
Oh. That is huge.
Bang.
Wow. I can't believe I ruined our first legend on stream. I am so sorry. All right, let's see. Can we get another one?
How does it go, Harrison? Let us know.
Alrighty, and the third one there is Burgess. Congratulations, Izzy. Well done. Wow, legend. I'm shaking. I can't do it anymore. Here we go. All right. All right, the next row. Who's that going to again? Sorry, mate.
Got Pity on here saying that he's a great kid for the future. So well done, Izzy.
Unreal.
A great card there, according to one of the other fantasy bros. We got Rory winning the next row, Dill.
Okay, all right. Okay, slow and steady. Here we go. We've got Sweet. We've got
It's a sweet
Miss.
card.
And we've got Howes. Alrighty. I apologize. I don't really know any of them.
We've got Stephen in the chat for row 3. So good luck, Stephen.
Good luck, Stephen. Here we go. We've got Boxall. Ward. I think Ward's a pretty good player, I think, from memory. And we've got Gray. There we go. So, Stephen, congratulations, mate. A couple of diamonds there. Hopefully they are useful. Alrighty. The last card is a diamond. And it is a Pain. Pain. Again, the AFL boys over at Fantasy Bros, please let us know if any of those cards are value. That would be awesome. Thank you very much. Again, I apologize for my early release there. Unfortunately. Look, just on the Fantasy Bros AFL, over on the Fantasy Bros Instagram, they have uploaded their pods and locks for this week in the AFL final series. So make sure you jump across to Instagram. That is at Fantasy Bros AU, and check out the pods and locks that the boys have put up. They'll also be doing a Brodown Showdown tomorrow night, I believe, as well, over on the Instagram. So if you're an Aussie Rules fan, definitely jump across there, give us a like, and check out all the content that the boys are going to be producing for the finals series. Alrighty, we have one card left to give away, and it is one of the best players in Oz cricket, and that is the Matt Short Platt. He's one of the highest scoring all-rounders in the competition, so it's going to be an awesome card for somebody. Let's see who that somebody is. Oh, and it's got around. It's past Napa, and it's got to Cowboy 09579. Unreal work, Cowboy.
Congrats, Cowboy 09579. Well done.
Great work. Does that mean there's 9,578 Cowboys before him?
I think so, yeah.
Unreal. Stephen has just commented and said we probably should take the pack insurance and membership, but a couple of decent cards for the future. I like that. Decent cards for the future is what I like. Pity's also put up that Ward is a sneaky pod for the weekend. So there you go. That pod coming in. I love it. And has also put up that Ward is another great pick for the future. So that's good. Like we said, GameDay Squad is obviously a dynasty platform. You keep all the cards that you pull or that you win live on stream. So they are yours forever. If you choose to keep them, you can obviously sell or trade as well over on the marketplace. Thank you to everyone who got involved tonight. That's messaged us through their subscription that joined for the first time this week, either because you wanted to win some unreal prizes or because of the AFL Aussie Rules boys that have joined us as well. We cannot wait for that to kick off next year. We're looking forward to all of the content that we will produce over that 2026 season, as well as the Oz Cricket 25-26 season. That, look, just quietly, I do love cricket, but there's just something about the Big Bash season that I love it so much. It's holidays, it's Christmas time. You can't get any better. Test cricket on in the morning, and then that Big Bash to finish off in the afternoon. Great way to spend your day.
Fortunately, Dill, we've still got 4 shows, or I don't know, but my maths is right. 3 or 4 shows remaining for the finals series. We'll be previewing round 1 of the finals next Wednesday night, same time at 7:00 p.m. As always, thanks everyone for tuning in once again. We love the support throughout the season, and particularly tonight with those massive viewer numbers. Congratulations to everyone that won the prize. If you didn't win one this evening, commiserations, but the Fantasy Bros love to give back to the community. There are always plenty of prizes, and we hand them out just about every single stream. So keep that support up. Make sure you like us on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok as well. And if you haven't already, subscribe to YouTube. Make sure you do that because you've missed out on a couple of prizes tonight, but we'll certainly be running another couple of giveaways just like that in the not too distant future. Thanks again for tuning in once again. I know it was a long one this evening. Hopefully we've steered you into some pretty nice picks for this weekend. Obviously the last round of the regular season. Make sure you're keeping up to date with things in the Discord server. Download Discord and go follow the GameDay Squad Discord server. Dill does a fantastic job posting those team lists 1 hour out from kickoff. You don't want to be caught out with the donut in your team, particularly if you're someone hovering around prize card selection territory, or you're a sneaky chance at a weekly top 3 finish. Thanks very much, Dill. Good luck this weekend. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining in. And make sure you get in touch with us on Discord, on Instagram, to claim those prizes. We'll try to get them out as quickly as possible.
And just quickly, massive shout out to Mel. Mel's Misfits in the Discord. She does an awesome job supporting us each and every week, and obviously pumping up those numbers through the Discord as well. So thanks so much, Mel. Your support means so much to us, as does everyone else's. We really appreciate it. Good luck for this week. Good luck for the finals for everyone. And don't forget, the Aussie Rules boys have been putting together some stuff for you as well. So go check that out on our Instagram at Fantasy Bros AU. Thanks, Stu. Thanks very much. Have a good night.